Everyone, it's Darren. Welcome. We have a really simple function for you this time. It's the len function. What len does, it stands for length. It just gives you the length of a character string. Really simple function, has one parameter, which is the character string you're working with. So as you'd expect, equals len a1, and that gives you 3, which is ABC there. Uh, Unfortunately, there's a few things that can get in the way. Just like almost anything in Excel, sometimes you need to do a little extra work. In this case, the most common thing you're going to have is you're going to have extra spaces at the beginning or the end. If you look at what's in cell A2 there, for example, we see there's some extra spaces at the beginning. So if we do len A2, we get 5, and we don't want 5. So what we actually want is we want to trim that first. There's two functions you'll use is trim and clean. In this case, we're going to use trim, and I'll tell you about the difference here in a second. So it equals len trim A2, and close that out. And that gives us the 3 we're looking for. What trim does is it gets rid of leading spaces at the beginning, gets rid of leading spaces at the end. If you have multiple spaces in the middle, it'll get rid of all but one of them. So if we copy this down, A3 has a couple of spaces at the end of it. If we copy this one down, though, you see it took it off as well. So what else do we have here? That one actually has a couple spaces at the beginning and a couple spaces at the end, but one trim function does it just fine. Then we get over here, and we have a space in the middle, and that's actually okay. There's no spaces beginning or end there. Uh, so if we pull that down, you can use the trim even though you don't need it. And if we do another one here, there's a couple of spaces in the middle. And this is sort of an interesting one because you see the 2 spaces there, which you have to kind of look to see it. Otherwise, you might not even notice that you have 2. But the trim function takes care of that as well. Trim is the one you're going to use mostly. The spaces are really common. They happen if you parse text, which is cutting up your text into multiple pieces. Happens a lot when you get text files from other data sources. You get a client sends you data, or you're pulling it from a phone system or something. The other situation that you run into is actually where you have a problem with non-text. They're called non-printable characters. And these are things that sometimes will kick out. Usually it's going to be if you're getting data from like an old mainframe system, for example. That's more common. So if we check that, it says A7 is 16 characters long. That doesn't look like 16 characters long, but let's trim that. And it's still 13 characters long. Well, we know it's not really 13 characters long. I can look at that and see it's 3 should be 3 characters of space, 3 characters should be 7. And what's going on, if we actually look in here, I built this with a bunch of extra non-printable characters in the middle. Non-printable characters are characters less than ASCII 32. 32 is a space. So what we need to do is get rid of those. Let's take a look at what that amounts to here. So if we um, do this, and we'll do clean of A7. Now that shows us this value here is A, B, C, D, E, F is clean of A7, which is 10 characters long, and that's because we have the extra spaces there in the middle. But when we trim that, that comes out correctly. But we don't have to do that as a separate variable. We can actually just do equals. Let's see, so we want to do trim, clean, A7. And of course, missed a parentheses. There we go. Okay, so, and that cleans it up, and then we can actually just do len right on top of that if we want to. And that gives us 7, which is what we're looking for. Now, you don't need to use clean twice. Uh, Trim, you may have to use a lot as you're working through text, as you as you parse your values and you like take this piece here and this piece here and this piece here, it's a good idea to use trim on everything, and you can never really overuse it. It's a fast function. It doesn't slow down your system at all. Uh, it doesn't hurt to use clean, but you don't really need to use clean over and over again. Um, so if you get data in from somebody else, or you get data off a mainframe system or whatever, you can just run clean on it once before you parse it. That's all you need to worry about. Okay, so that's about all we have. There's a link down in the description to more videos on trim and clean if you'd like some more information on those. If you learned anything from this video, if you're enjoying the channel, please click like and subscribe. And I'll see you next time.